So I'm starting the CPC meeting. I'm hosting it. So yeah. Hi there.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you? I'm going to make you the host, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, and I didn't make a meeting room and it's recording, so you should be all set. Okay?
Great.
All righty. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Marianne. Good evening, everybody. It is 7 o'clock. There's a lane, so we're just waiting on at least one more member of the committee to join for the quorum.
Sorry, I'm going to be not showing my face since I have to mask. John has COVID.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Maggie and her husband and our granddaughter have it too.
Yeah, well, we were down at Jesse's,
Oh no.
so we came home. But
Uh-oh.
I will stay offline because I can't stand looking at the duck face.
When did you get back, Elaine?
We came back yesterday.
And he had it when you got back?
He got it Well, he started symptoms Tuesday night.
Yes, it was Wednesday.
Yeah. And so we turned around and came back yesterday.
Oh, no. So were you supposed to be staying down there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, well.
Oh, well. Right.
I got to babysit on Tuesday night. That's what counted.
Yeah. How's the baby doing?
Oh, great. Absolutely great.
Oh, good. So we have Alan and Henry, right? Did both of them say they were gonna come, Mateo? Or,
Yeah, they did
Yeah.
both indicate they're available today.
okay. And Cliff is waiting on his appointment.
Yes. Oh, congratulations, Cliff. Thank you for
Yeah,
doing this.
yes, Absolutely.
Oh, well, such a good committee. How could I pass up the offer?
Did John get Paxlovid, Elaine?
This afternoon, I picked up a prescription for him. So hopefully he's going to be on the mend.
But it's everywhere now, huh?
Oh, it is. It is. We were at a group dinner with Graham Sefton on Sunday, and we all tested ahead of time. But then all of a sudden, Graham tested positive on Monday, and yeah. Oh well. How was your trip?
Great.
You're just back. Are you?
45 minutes ago.
Oh, you're kidding.
No.
What time zone are you in right now?
Well, it's 1:00 in the morning. So my eyes are feeling like not so great. Yeah, we're on French time.
Right. I'm gonna have to hear all about your trip. So
Yeah.
Mateo, if Cliff has not actually been appointed, we are only 6 members right now. Is 3 a majority?
We would need to have 4 for a quorum
For quorum, right.
because we need to have one more than half.
1 more than half. Okay.
I just spoke to Henry and to Alan to see what's up. I'm not able to text them. I don't have their cell phones, but I emailed them.
Let's see what I have.
Yeah, well, I might have Alan's phone number. You have his phone number, Elaine?
I'm looking.
I'm so discombobulated here.
I must. Let me check.
Mike, can you hand me that, my red bag, you know, the one with where the handle broke?
Oh, we have it.
Oh,
It's
good.
Henry.
There's Henry.
Henry to the rescue. All right.
Hello,
Thank
sorry
you.
I'm late.
That's all right.
I
Hi,
driving.
Henry.
Hey,
I'll call Al anyway. I have his number.
Okay. Okay. Well, while Elaine does that, I'm going to call this meeting of the CPC to order. It is 7:06 p.m. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. The first item of business on the agenda is review and vote on the minutes of August 24th, as submitted by Elaine. Is there a motion?
I wasn't there, but I'll move to accept the minutes of August 24th.
second.
Is there any comment on the minutes?
Sorry, Al just said that he'll be right here.
Seeing no comment on the minutes, we'll proceed to a vote.
The only comment was, I'm sorry, the only comment was that I had spelled Beth's name wrong
Correct. Yeah.
with 2 L's.
If there are no other revisions and no other comments, we'll proceed to a vote. Geddes.
Aye.
Puleo.
Aye.
Farrell.
I'll abstain since I wasn't there.
Pangallo, aye. Okay. We'll proceed now to the second item on the agenda, which is our public hearing. So thank you to those of you who are here. So Section 5B1 of the CPA states that the CPC shall hold one or more public informational hearings on the needs, possibilities, and resources of the city or town regarding community preservation possibilities and resources, which is what this hearing is about. It is the hearing that is required by law, essentially, as we think about what our criteria are and our priorities are for CPA funded projects. So the committee will gather information, we'll draw on this information from any comments we get today, as well as comments that we've received from relevant town boards and committees, and of course, our own deliberations between now and our October meeting, or not between now and October meeting, but at our October meeting. As we proceed with an annual review and update of Shutesbury's Community Preservation Plan, which is a public document also developed in compliance with Section 5B1 of the CPA, and which the CPC has used for, I guess, over a decade to guide decision-making about grant applications. So again, today we are seeking comments relevant to updating the plan, if it contains goals or criteria that should be revised or removed, whether there are goals or criteria missing that should be added, or any part that should be revised or clarified. We are not deliberating on specific potential projects or past projects or applications, but if anybody who is present today does have an idea for a potential project, I strongly encourage you to visit the CPC website, as well as the website of the Community Preservation Coalition, which is communitypreservation.org. And to familiarize yourself with the CPA, with the community preservation plan that Shutesbury has in place, and with our committee's process. And if you have any questions, to definitely reach out and to let us know. So that said, I will open up the floor. If anybody would like to speak, I was going to say you have about 3 minutes, but there aren't many people here, so that's obviously going to be at the deference of the chair. You can take more time if you'd like, but we do ask that comments be on point to the question of the community preservation plan and how we might update it, and that you identify yourself by name and by telling us where you live. And yeah, are there any, before we start, any questions about this hearing or its purpose, or what we're doing with this community preservation plan? All right. Well, seeing no, oh, yes, Tom.
Is it better now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Sorry, another computer was on in the room. I didn't know if, I just had a few questions. I guess I'll pose them now. And some of them, they're all just very basic. Did you say this gets done annually or every 6 months? I didn't catch that, please.
So Section 5B1 of the CPA says that the CPC should each year, I forget the exact language, let me find it here. Well, hold one or more public informational hearings on the needs, possibilities, and resources of the city or town. And that involves reaching out to the Historical Commission, the Planning Board, the Conservation Commission, and because those are the town boards or committees that are named in the CPA as having representation on the committee. And then also holding a public hearing, and then also engaging in the committee's own sort of deliberations about revisiting, revising, updating the plan that Shutesbury has in place. And it's done annually. My understanding is that usually the revisions are have been fairly minor. I know last year we did do a sort of cleanup of certain sections and of the application and of the determination of eligibility form. But it is something that we're supposed to do each year before we start the grant cycle.
Yeah, I guess I'll let you know now as well. Like, I have nothing to add in terms of what I would add to the plan or take away from the plan or change the plan in any way. I just am curious about what the process is that's going on here. And so theoretically, the plan is always changed every year, or is open to a change every year, based on input from the various, is that right? I am just trying to understand it.
In certain ways, the plan, there are certain things that cannot be changed, right? The CPA, the law, the statutes
Well,
stipulate.
yeah, I understand that, but
it's the general idea of the sections where we talk about like the town's recreation goals, for example, or the criteria we use in judging a historic preservation project. If there's anything that is specific to our community that is distinctive in some way from the CPA, as long as it doesn't violate the CPA or case law, the plan is where we would outline it. So it's a document about the community's vision for what we might sort of want to do in terms of the community preservation categories in the CPA. And as far as the process goes, I mean, there's two parts to the process, right? In December, if there are projects that are proposed to the committee, because the committee doesn't propose projects, we evaluate projects that are presented to us. In December, we essentially determine whether objectively they meet the criteria in the law, in the CPA statute, and whether they align with case law. And then if projects are objectively eligible, they can then choose to proceed to the full application, which we usually vote on in May or April for upcoming town meeting. And that's where the community preservation really becomes important, because we use that to decide this. That's a subjective decision, right? Is this project advisable? Is it feasible? Does it align with enough of the criteria, the goals, the priorities that are in the community preservation plan to merit suggesting to town or endorsing it to town meeting? And then town meeting would ultimately have to vote on it if we vote on the to advance the application, if that makes sense. So that's why the plan is important. It provides a kind of by using the plan, we can ensure that our decision making is transparent, is consistent, is as equitable as possible. And so applicants for CPA funding know how they're going to be evaluated in advance, if that makes sense.
yeah. Is this a correct understanding? Is the plan similar to the regulations in their relationship to the act? The regulations, sorry. Like, I know that right now the Conservation Commission is working on regulations for the wetlands bylaw. Is this a similar set of two things where the act is kind of like the bylaw and the plan is kind of like the regulations, or is that not a good way to look at it?
It's not, because the committee is not bound by the plan. And the plan sort of specifically states this, that members of the committee can consider a project advisable or not advisable for whatever reason they want. But for reasons that as I just explained, I think are important, it's good to adhere to the plan as closely as we can so that applicants know how they're going to be judged. Otherwise, it's kind of like moving the goalposts on them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's different than regulations in that it's not a legally enforceable document. It's a guideline.
I see. Okay. And I think my last question was, please, and thank you for entertaining me tonight. Do you already have any suggestions for changing the plan from some of the committees you mentioned or other people?
The committee has not received any written testimony, either from members of the public or from the other boards or committees in town. We will do the usual update of sort of just adjusting people's names and deadlines and dates and things like that. But other than that, we have not received any feedback for revisions.
And you indicated as well, it's not often the case that there are very large, or last year there weren't any like substantive revisions. Is that right?
Yeah, so having been on the committee now only for 2 years and having only chaired it for the 1 year, in my time on the committee, I can't speak to any substantive revisions. I don't know if there are certainly other members of the committee who have been on it for quite a bit longer who might have a bit more institutional memory about any deep revisions, but it is, as far as I can tell from looking at what other communities that have adopted the CPA do, it is a pretty broad and capacious plan in that it embraces a lot of different possibilities. But as far as substantive revisions, yeah, again, I in my time on the committee, I haven't seen any major ones.
Thank you so much. I do have a better understanding now, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I would agree with Matteo that the major changes that we've made over the years was to streamline the process, to better define some of the areas that we're looking at. And there are really no substantial changes that have been made, I would say, over the years that I've been on this committee, maybe 5 years now, 6 years.
Yeah, what helps me now is understanding that the reason this is on the agenda tonight and whatnot is not because of like a new thing that happened or whatnot. It's rather procedural, and that's helpful for me to understand better. Thank you.
I had one comment, and that, excuse me, and that is, I think one of the one area that we've had only one project is in community housing, also known as affordable housing. And I know, Tom, when the CPC allocated money for the acquisition of the what I think is called the West Quabbin property, the property on Pelham Hill Road.
R15.
One of the things that you had mentioned was whether or not, when the town was putting money up for open space acquisition, couldn't we combine it with affordable housing? Because, I think we have a real problem in Shutesbury that we have the ability for pretty limited development. So affordable housing, if you can combine it, and it's a great idea, and it's been done in a lot of other communities. In the case of that particular property, the bulk of the funding was coming from Kestrel Trust, and we just had a small portion. But it's something that, I think in the future, if it comes up again, it would be an opportunity for us to make some land available, because I think in other towns and surrounding towns, Habitat for Humanity has been able to make available properties or houses for first-time home buyers. So we have one of those in Shutesbury, but we have really limited opportunities for doing anything around affordable housing, community housing. And I'd love to see us be able to do something. And land acquisition is one way to land acquisition and then make it available to somebody to do an affordable house, which most likely would be Habitat. But if somebody else could do it, that would be great.
Yeah. I understood it's a very long process sometimes to, in advance of a situation, really get all the ducks in a row for affordable housing funding and whatnot. So I don't know if it really could have been achieved on the R15
Right.
situation, but yeah, thank you for addressing that.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other comments or questions about the community preservation plan or about the community's priorities and goals and interests in terms of community preservation funding? Cliff.
Thanks. As I was reading it over, one specific comment that I had on page 7, section 3, the historic resources profile. It lists a number of historic properties in the town. The ones I did not see on there, which I think it would be good to add them, are the schoolhouses, one on Schoolhouse Road, and then the other, which is at the north end of West Pelham Road. But those are certainly historic buildings, and from what I understand, owned by the town. And so I think it does make sense to include them as the list of resources for the town.
Is the one on Schoolhouse Road owned by the town, or is it owned by Sirius Community?
I think it was privately owned, if I'm not.
Yeah,
mistaken.
I'm pretty sure it's privately owned. I don't think we
so.
own that one.
Okay. Yeah.
I will say that even if a property is privately owned, it still can qualify as an historic resource. If the town doesn't own it, the Lake Wyola farmhouse is owned by DCR, and that's, an historic resource. So, and CPA money can be used for private property that is considered a historic resource.
Yeah, it's more, I think, and we had a discussion back a few years ago with, I believe, Elaine, if it was the Sirius Community, had come in and talked to us about it. And
Yes.
our interest was in making sure that there was some sort of public benefit, so that if it was simply that we put public money into it, but the public, couldn't visit it, that they didn't open it up at any time, that, should we really be using this precious resource and not allowing any kind of public access? And I think at that point, they had no interest in providing that kind of access to the property. So.
Correct.
Where is the other one, Cliff? Is the
One on the corner of West Pelham
Pelham,
and
and some
Leverett.
I know some work was done on that
Yes.
already. I don't recall if we put, I don't know, Alan, maybe you would remember if we ever put any CPA money into that.
I don't think so. I
So
know
either.
that the Historic Commission did.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
Yes.
yes,
Okay, good, because I was having some real problems here. So I don't think we did.
okay.
So there was,
Check my records to be sure.
in 2011, there was a $2,621 CPA grant to rehabilitate West Schoolhouse. Is that schoolhouse?
That's
Yeah.
the one on West Pelham. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's the only in 2011.
yeah, I think that's correct.
Oh, and there was there was more also in 2012. Yeah. And I know Henry probably knows better than I do, but there has been some discussion with the Historical Commission about some of the needs of that property as well.
Yeah, we went and assessed, cleaned it out, and there's some damage to the roof. The outside walls need to be attended to.
Henry, was there any discussion about coming in for CPA money for any of that?
Possibly. We're still in conversation with the buildings committee.
Building committee, yeah.
See what they're up to and if they can help out.
Mhm.
Volunteer labor.
Cliff, I see your hand is still up. Did you have other comments on that? Are there any other comments or questions about the plan or our CPA priorities? All right, well, seeing none, I will incorporate this information and as well as some additional sort of just updates to statistics and dates and names and such in the report, and then present a revised version of the plan to the committee for its vote at our October meeting. thank you all very much. Item 3 on our agenda. Is there, oh, I suppose, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second,
Geddes,
Aye.
Hanson,
Aye.
Leo,
Aye.
Farrell,
aye.
and Gallo, aye. Item 3 on the agenda, is there any additional business that the committee wants to bring forward?
Not me.
The only thing I would note is I updated the committee, but I'll update also in the committee in the meeting that Cliff Reed's appointment to serve as the designee of the planning board to the CPC was unanimously approved by the planning board at their September 11th meeting, and so we'll be going before the select board for his formal appointment. And after that, he will be sworn in and he will join our illustrious ranks.
Okay, yeah.
Congratulations.
Great.
Congratulations.
Okay, seeing no other comments on other business, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all right, Geddes. Sorry, Henry,
Aye.
Hanson,
Aye.
Vallejo,
Aye.
Farrell,
Aye.
and Gallo, aye. Thank you all very much. Have a great
Thank
night.
you.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Thank
Good night.
you. Good night.